This property report is powered by realestate.com.au. Know the value of your home today. Track your property now.
To property now, and the RBA left interest rates on hold at their record low of 0.1% earlier this week. Governor Philip Lowe repeated the expectation that rates would not increase until inflation was sustainably within the 2 to 3% target range. And it's not expected the required economic conditions will be met until at least 2024. To discuss what this means for the property market is realestate.com.au's economist Anne Flaherty. Anne, good afternoon. What impact is the low interest rate environment having on home lending?
Good afternoon. So the continued low interest rates and the expectation that rates are going to stay low has really ramped up buyer demand. Now, on the realestate.com.au website, we've seen strong growth in buyer search volumes and inquiries. And this week, that was really borne out with the latest ABS lending figures. So what the ABS show is that new loan commitments hit $30 billion in March. This is a new record and represents pretty strong growth over the month and a whopping 55% growth over the year. Now, if we break this data down, owner-occupiers represent the largest share, around 74% or $22 billion worth of these loans. However, if we look at the number of loans going to investors, we've actually seen a very strong month-on-month rise, up 13% for investors. Now, this is the largest jump in investor loans that we've seen since back in 2003. And it's also reflected in trends we're seeing on our own site. So we've seen the volume of inquiry going to investors steadily rise over the last few months. And on the flip side...
Sorry,
I was just going to say, first home buyers, in contrast, we've seen a slight decline. So lending figures for first home buyers were down 3% over the month. And our own inquiry data is showing these buyers trending downwards as well.
Yeah, some fascinating data there. And as the autumn selling season enters its final weeks, what were the clearance rates around the country last weekend?
Yeah, so last weekend we did see some strong clearance rates. In Sydney, we had clearance rates of 90.1%. Now, we've had 90% or above clearance in Sydney for over 3 months now. So very strong demand in that market, perhaps more demand than supply. Melbourne also saw very strong clearance rate if you consider the fact that we had a Super Saturday last weekend in Melbourne, 86.7% there. Brisbane, a bit lower at 69%. But then if we look at the ACT, we had the strongest clearance rate in the country there. Now, the Canberra market has been performing very strongly, and this is the 12th consecutive week where we've seen the clearance rate at or above 95% in Canberra.
And looking ahead to this weekend, what are auction volumes looking like at this stage?
Yeah, so another strong weekend ahead. We've got auctions slightly up again. Melbourne, again, set to see another Super Saturday. We've got over 1,000 auctions happening in Melbourne. Second is Sydney, where we've got over 800 auctions. Now, we do expect that over the coming weeks, the number of properties going to auction will continue to rise as we come to the end of that autumn selling period.
And just finally, what homes have proven popular with buyers this week?
So the properties that are proving the most popular on the realestate.com.au website tend to be those on bigger blocks, bigger houses. The most popular properties that are coming to auction this weekend have been houses with 4 or 5 bedrooms. So we have one property in Robertson in Queensland, 18 Davrod Street, and that property has 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. It's got a cinema, a pool, ticking lots of those boxes buyers are looking for.
Yeah, sounds absolutely beautiful. Anne Flaherty, thank you for joining me this afternoon.